Once again, I welcome you to my office for another weekly wow. This week we have what might be considered a strange wow, at least until you have a context. Perhaps a little startling at first, the word wrestle. This week's wow has a biblical context, is used in many translations of Scripture, biblical word. I'm thinking of Colossians chapter 4, verse 12. Epaphras, who is one of you and a servant of Christ Jesus, sends greetings. He is always wrestling in prayer for you, that you may stand firm in all the will of God, mature and fully assured. Epaphras wrestled in prayer on behalf of others. He implored God to help them stand strong and be mature. The little Greek word is an interesting one, agonizomai. It's related to our word agony. As Christians, we're called to endure and overcome not only our own challenges, but also to participate in the pain of others. We wrestle on behalf of others, taking on their pain, helping solve problems, sharing words of hope. Such helping is often painful, and pain can easily pile up. Combining what's going on at work, what goes on at the house, in the church, in the lives of others, sometimes it's too much all at once. You understand. That's the nature of life. And so our little word wrestle helps us as we live in this world and also points us to life to come. The temptation is to take the easy way out. When we need to wrestle, the easy way out is to simply bow out, refuse to participate, escape, get out of the maddening cycle. So Christians have an option. And as we live in faith, we have another solution. We have a way to live under pressure. Christian leaders do not take the easy way out. What do? They wrestle. When others are hurting, what do? We wrestle. When I moved to Fort Gibson to serve in ministry in 1987, that's soon to be 40 years ago, the elders had the custom of meeting every Sunday morning to pray for the flock. Jan and I are back at Fort Gibson, as many of you know. That practice continues. These leaders are accustomed to wrestling. Do you know the blessing? The blessing of knowing that others are praying specifically for you, helping you stand up under pressure? What if all God's people became spiritual wrestlers? What if we wrestled in prayer more often? I'm not talking about the passing prayer that comes because we promised to pray for someone. What if we learn to wrestle in prayer? The New Testament has some interesting relevant verses that are scattered along the way. Luke 13:24, strive to enter through the narrow door. John 18:36, if my kingdom of this world, my servants would be fighting. Or 1 Corinthians 9:25, everyone who competes must exercise self-control in all things. Colossians 1:29, struggling with all his energy. Or our text, 4:12, wrestling in prayer. Fight the good fight. 1 Timothy 6:12, 2 Timothy 4:7, I fought the good fight. Why these particular verses? You guessed it, they're all agonizomai verses. Striving, fighting, competing, wrestling, struggling, fighting the good fight. These are wrestling verses. These are verses that help us understand the nature of the struggle. How are your spiritual wrestling skills? Do you need more practice? This week would be a good time to start. Develop the skills. Life is a wrestling match, we could say. Spiritual wrestling. Wrestle with all of God's energy in prayer with faith. So, as we conclude, may we, like Epaphras, be among those who are always wrestling in prayer for others. I love putting together these unique thoughts, encouraging us, challenging us, giving us a fresh perspective. But the perspective is always the same concerning God's love, our love one for another, the fact that God's way is right. I pray that this week you might wrestle a bit more and that you'll find this word memorable as you seek to walk more closely to our God and to help as you can in the lives of others. God bless.